kembali untuk sidang media MH370 dan ketika ini di atas pentas utama Datuk Seri Syamuddin Tun Hussein telah pun bersedia. Jadi tanpa membuang masa, kita terus saja dengarkan sidang media ini.
To deliver his statement. Sir, if you please do us the honor.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. The search for MH370 continues. Our efforts are now focused in the southern Indian Ocean, where a multinational team led by Australia is combing the waters trying to find debris from the flight. Our determination to find MH370 remains steadfast. As we have said all along, we will never give up trying to find the plane. In order to bring closure for the families and to establish exactly what happened to MH370. Australia, China and France have already released satellite images showing objects that may be related to MH370. Yesterday, on the 25th of March, the Malaysian Remote Sensing Agency, MRSA, received new satellite images from Airbus Defence and Space, which is based in France, and these images were taken on the 23rd of March. MRSA analyzed the images, and in one area of the ocean measuring some 400 square kilometers, were able to identify 122 potential objects. Some objects were a meter in length, others were as much as 23 meters in length. Some of the objects appeared to be bright, possibly indicating solid material. The objects were located approximately 2,557 kilometers from Perth. We will issue a handout showing their location after this press conference. MRSA's findings were immediately forwarded to the Australian Rescue Coordination Centre in Perth yesterday. It must be emphasized that we cannot tell whether the potential objects are from MH370. Nevertheless, this is another new lead that will help direct the search operation. We have now had 4 separate satellite leads from Australia, from China, and France, showing possible debris. It is now imperative that we link the debris to MH370. This will enable us to further reduce the search area and locate more debris from the plane. Australia is leading the search effort in the southern Indian Ocean, based out of Perth. Malaysia continues to play a coordinating role. All countries involved are displaying unprecedented levels of cooperation that has not changed. Australia has divided the search area into 2 sectors, the east and the west. Today the weather has improved and the 12 planes will travel to the search area, 6 in the east sector and 6 in the west. In the east sector, searches will be conducted by 1 Australian P-3 Orion and 3 Australian civilian aircraft, 1 Chinese Illusion IL-76 and 1 New Zealand P-3 Orion. In the western sector, searches will be conducted by 1 US P-8 Poseidon, 1 Korean P-3 Orion, 1 Japanese P-3 Orion, 2 Australian P-3 Orions and 1 civilian aircraft. 2 ships will also join the search operations. Yesterday, HMAS Success was redeployed to the south of the search area due to bad weather. Today, the ship has returned and will support the search operations in the west sector. Meanwhile, the Chinese ship Zulong has today been deployed to the east sector. A Japanese Coast Guard Gulfstream aircraft left Subang this morning for Perth to join the search operation. As I mentioned yesterday, the search operations in the northern corridor and in the northern part of the southern corridor have been called off. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs has sent diplomatic notes to all relevant countries to formally inform them of this change. Before I continue, I would like to convey our appreciation to the Australian authorities, and in particular to Prime Minister Tony Abbott, for making such an extraordinary contribution to this search operation. Chinese Special Envoy. Today, the Prime Minister met with Excellency Zhang Yexui, the Chinese Vice Minister of Foreign Affairs, and also the Special Envoy of the Government of China. I also met with His Excellency this afternoon. During our conversation, His Excellency conveyed China's commitment to continue and intensify the search operation in any way possible and to deploy any assets that may be required. Malaysia has provided His Excellency and his delegation with a full update on the latest information from Inmarsat. His Excellency and his delegation also received a comprehensive briefing from the international technical team. As I mentioned yesterday, based on the new information provided by Inmarsat, we have established an international working group. The agencies involved in this working group include Inmarsat, AAIB, the Chinese CAAC and AAID, NTSB, FAA, Boeing, and Rolls-Royce, as well as the relevant Malaysian authorities. The role of the working group is to help try and refine the Inmarsat data and, if possible, more accurately determine the final position of MH370. I should like to note that the CEO of Malindo Airlines, Chandra Ramamurthy, has joined me on stage today, and he will be able to answer any questions that you might have. And as announced yesterday, MAS is now taking a lead in communicating with the families and is conducting their own press conferences. MAS will hold another press conference tomorrow regarding that. New satellite images continue to provide clues in the search for MH370, ladies and gentlemen. And with improved weather conditions, aircraft are now able to investigate objects of interest. I would like to thank once again our international partners, and once again for their continued support and assistance. The search for MH370 and the investigation into what happened on board the flight is now a truly international effort. Thank you.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, Q&A session. We will open to the local media first and then followed by the international media. So I will start right at the back, please.
Datuk Seri Taharusri Muhammad Nazri dari TV3. Soalan saya, adakah protokol penerbangan akan dikaji semula ekoran insiden yang berlaku pada MH370? Mengambil contoh transponder yang boleh ditutup dengan sengaja, sistem tracking pesawat dengan satelit dan gerakan SAR bersepadu pelbagai negara apabila kejadian sebegini berlaku. Jadi adakah perkara ini akan diusulkan kepada ICAO? Dan seterusnya mengambil contoh insiden Air France 447, Airbus sudi menghulur bantuan dana sehingga lebih 20 juta euro untuk cari kotak hitam. Jadi adakah Boeing juga akan melakukan perkara yang sama bagi pesawat MH370 ini selain berperanan sebagai penasihat teknikal apabila menyertai NTSB?
Dari segi protokol, bukan sahaja apa yang ada ke negara kita, tetapi ini dikaji dan dilihat oleh satu dunia. Dan apa jua penambahbaikan kepada protokol yang sedia ada ini, saya percaya bahawa ini akan diambil kira apabila kita dapat maklumat yang lebih terperinci berkait dengan operasi dan apa yang dapat kita kecapi daripada insiden ini. Tetapi di peringkat negara kita, saya dah maklumkan semalam bahawa satu select komiti parlimen atau satu Pusuruhanjaya diraja sedang dipertimbangkan oleh pihak berkuasa, tetapi pada masa yang sama satu panel TUDM untuk membuat inquiry, satu lagi board of inquiry sedang diwujudkan oleh MOT, dan ini merupakan satu tindakan yang paralel dengan operasi SAR yang sedang dijalankan sekarang.
Pada lazimnya setiap laporan kemalangan akan dikaji oleh IKO dan laporan kemalangan tersebut perlu dihantar kepada IKO dan IKO akan mengkajikannya dan akan mengkaji apakah yang berlaku, apakah usul-usul yang patut diajukan untuk masa hadapan supaya perkara atau kemalangan yang sedemikian tidak terjadi lagi, dan ini adalah pada lazimnya, dan saya percaya mereka amatlah berminat untuk mengetahui apakah laporan yang akan dikeluarkan, dan itulah yang diusahakan oleh kami semua dalam mencari pesawat tersebut, mencari kotak hitam dan black box supaya laporan kesihatan boleh dilakukan dengan sempurna dan sangat cepat mungkin. Terima kasih.
Jepun.
Selamat petang Datuk Seri. Saya Kadir daripada RTM. Saya ada satu soalan untuk Datuk Seri dan satu soalan untuk CEO Malindo A. Okay, Datuk Seri, semalam sebahagian daripada saudara penumpang ataupun waris daripada China telah membuat tunjuk perasaan di depan kedutaan kita di Beijing. Minta komen Datuk Seri sedikit berkenaan dengan perkembangan keselamatan di sana dan bagaimana pula kawalan sistem keselamatan yang berada di sana untuk pekerja-pekerja di kedutaan kita, dan untuk CEO Malindo berkenaan komen sedikit berkenaan dengan insiden enjin pesawat yang dalam penerbangan ke Terengganu yang terbakar pagi tadi.
Dari segi keselamatan kedutaan kita, saya dimaklumkan berada dalam keadaan yang terkawal, dan perkembangan berhubung kait dengan tindakan-tindakan segelintir mereka yang terlibat ini, saya telah pun maklumkan kepada delegasi daripada China yang diketuai oleh envoy yang juga telah berjumpa dengan Yang Amat Berhormat Perdana Menteri. Ini akan ditangani bersama negara China dan negara kita.
Selamat petang. Pagi tadi penerbangan Malindo OD 1804 dari Subang ke Kuala Terengganu, kira-kira 7,000 feet, kapten pesawat mendapati bahawa sistem fire detection system itu triggered. You see? Setelah fire detection system triggered, kapten tanpa membazirkan apa-apa waktu terus divert back pesawat tersebut ke Subang. Dalam masa 7 minit hingga ke 10 minit, kapten berjaya mendivert pesawat tersebut tanpa ada apa-apa kecederaan kepada maupun kru atau penumpang. Semua penumpang berjaya di landed in Subang pagi tadi. Thank you.
Okay. Katakan.
Datuk Sri, I'm Hema from Capital TV. So it's a business-based channel. So I would like to ask if how is the government preparing to assist Malaysian Airlines if it turns up for a government bailout, and what are the how is the government preparing to assist Malaysian Airlines if it turns up for a government bailout to curb its financial losses?
Oh, we are looking at the search and rescue here. I will not entertain that kind of.
Is there any estimation of losses yet?
I have no details of that. Like in
Okay,
any event.
the next question. The panel. Please, could you stand up and identify yourself, please? Thank you.
Assalamualaikum, saya Salawati dari Bernama. Datuk Seri, saya nak tanya, MH370 adalah perkongsian kod dengan Southern China Airlines. Sekarang ni kita tahu MS dah lakukan yang terbaik untuk keluarga penumpang. Macam mana dengan syarikat yang sebelah sana? Apa yang mereka telah lakukan? Adakah berdiam diri saja atau ada apa-apa yang diorang buat setakat ni?
Setahu saya kooperasi yang cukup baik. Kalau sekiranya G to G, kita tengok satu fahaman yang amat mendalam dan begitu erat. Saya tak tengok apa sebab ada masalah dalam dua syarikat yang mempunyai hubungan coach sharing tadi. dan saya percaya itu lebih tepat soalannya kalau ditujukan kepada mas esok dalam PC mereka.
Yes, please, your question, sir.
Hi, I'm Keith. I'm from BFM 89.9. Dato' Sri, Australian Prime Minister Tony Abbott, he has confirmed passing investigation responsibilities to Malaysia. So, well, judging from the bruising we got from the international media, how do you think this will improve, let's say, brand Malaysia? And how financially ready is Malaysia to see this through the long haul? Thanks, sir.
Well, bruising, I think, is a bit too harsh because this is unprecedented. Anybody has gone through this, what we have gone through in the 17 days, have indicated to me that we have done quite an admirable job. Not many countries in the world could get 26 countries to work together. Not many countries can get all the most sophisticated planes from countries from every corner of the world to come and assist. And I've indicated from the past that in a world that's full of divide, of hate, of death, what we see a joint effort from all sectors of the community, notwithstanding the color of your skin, your race, your religion, boundaries do not become a concern. In an area in Southeast Asia where we were fighting over rocks in the middle of the sea, now working together, I think that is a great achievement. So, no, I do not see it as a bruising. Of course, as we go through it today, when there is no conclusion to it, when we have not found the debris and we have not linked any debris to MH370, speculation will go on and people will look to Malaysia. But I think history will judge us well.
The other room, second room.
Assalamualaikum, Dato' Sri. Farid from Star.
Hi, Farid.
Dato' Sri, given the certain anger towards Malaysia by Chinese citizens, especially the family members, will it affect the bilateral ties between Malaysia and China, given it's this year is the 40-year anniversary? And number two, is German search and rescue submarines being deployed to the search and rescue area?
The German search and rescue submarines, I have not got details of that. As far as the Chinese is concerned, I told you I've just met up with the Chinese high-level delegation this morning. So has the Prime Minister. And as you all know, our Prime Minister will be visiting China in May. And that plan is still going to go ahead. President Obama will be visiting Malaysia next month. So basically, as I said to the earlier question, the unprecedented cooperation looking for MH370 actually is going to be an asset in both those visits.
Yes, please. Baju Merah.
Sorry, Rajwinder from the Rakyat Post.
Hi.
Can you confirm that the Air Force didn't react to the MS turnaround because they thought Subang had ordered it?
Sorry?
MS flight the Air Force didn't react to the turnaround because they thought Subang had ordered it, air traffic control.
No, I cannot confirm that.
Okay, last question from Malaysia. Tudung Hijau.
Tudung hijau.
Second row. Thank you.
Datuk Sri Rosma daripada RTM. Datuk Sri, baru beberapa
A bit louder, please.
Baru beberapa ketika kita dikejutkan dengan insiden yang paling dahsyat MH370 and then tadi melibatkan Malindo Air and then ada beberapa yang melibatkan MAS dari segi teknikal. Datuk Sri, adakah Datuk Sri bersetuju dengan pandangan inilah masa yang paling sukar, paling mencabar dalam industri penerbangan negara? Macam mana Datuk Sri?
Ini merupakan sesuatu yang cukup luar biasa dan pengesahan daripada pakar-pakar dan pemimpin-pemimpin dunia oleh kerana sehingga hari ini kita dapat mengesahkan lokasi sebenarnya pesawat ini menunjukkan ini satu perkara yang sukar untuk satu dunia, bukan sahaja untuk negara kita. Tetapi pada masa yang sama dalam ujian ini saya tengok ada hikmah. Pertamanya rakyat Malaysia bersatu padu Tak kira latar belakang, tak kira ideologi politik, semalam di parlimen kita tengok kerajaan dan pembangkang menyokong 100% usul yang dibentangkan oleh Yang Amat Berhormat Perdana Menteri. Keduanya kita tengok semua telah mendoakan, tak kira daripada agama mana, untuk pesawat. Dan ini hikmah dalam ujian yang saya tengok bukan sahaja boleh membantu kita dengan menyuntik semangat untuk pasukan saya ni terus memberikan fokus kepada mencari pesawat berkenaan dan mengenal pasti sekiranya ada debris itu ada kaitan dengan pesawat MH370, dan kalau sekiranya jawapannya ya, bagaimana kita nak cari kotak hitam itu yang membawa cabaran yang lain pula. Saya percaya itulah sesuatu yang akan membantu kita. Jangan tidak memutus asa, terus memberi fokus walaupun spekulasi dan tuduhan pelbagai daripada hari pertama itu tidak mengganjak dan mengalih pandangan pasukan saya daripada fokus yang sebenar, iaitu untuk melakukan pencarian dan penyelamat, dan banyak yang telah kita lakukan sehingga hari ini yang boleh hari ini memperkecilkan kawasan yang dicari.
Okay, we go to international circuit. Front row, gentleman in the blue shirt, please.
Danny, the South China Morning Post. With this new development from Airbus with these images, how will that reflect into the search in the southern Indian Ocean?
I can show you the visuals which I'll be distributing to you. And these are the visual images. As you can see, it was an incredible feat because it was covered all by cloud. There were pockets in the clouds that we identified, and the white dots were the debris. This debris were then calculated, and the size of the debris and the latitude and the longitude of it has also been identified. It is not very far from the objects cited by the Chinese government, which was over here, and the Australian government, which is over there. So this is still the most credible lead that we have. And I've been consistent in the past that if we can use all the satellite technology that's available, the radar that is available, the assets that we can deploy to this area, which now seems to corroborate some form of objects and debris, and if it is confirmed to be MH370, at least then we can move on to the next phase of deep sea surveillance, search and rescue, probably. Hoping against hope.
Okay, third row.
Keith Bradshaw, New York Times.
Hi.
Is it possible to visit that aircraft site today, or excuse me, possible to visit that possible debris site today, or does that need to wait until tomorrow because it's been identified too late today?
Yeah.
And also, is there signs that it is drifted? I mean, is this an area with active currents, or is this part of your original search area? Thank you.
We have forwarded this information to the Australian authorities, and I believe that they have imputed into their calculations the possibility of drift and other challenges that they may face. As you know, yesterday the weather was the factor that was holding back our operations. I'll have to wait and see what reports come back from today's search. And this new information is just being relayed to them. Let's see what they have to say about it.
Second row, middle.
Cindy Wachner from News Corporation Australia. My question is for the Malaysian Airlines CEO. Mas has been looking after the families of the passengers throughout these past 2 weeks. Can you give us some insight into how the family of the pilot is coping and what Mas are doing to assist them? Also, are you confident that he was in a fit state to fly that evening? And one last one, is there a possibility that you might never find MH370?
I'm sorry, Cindy, the Mas CEO is not here today. And as I indicated to you, to the press, to the media, they will have a separate press conference tomorrow. Maybe you can direct those questions to him then.
Okay, we go to the next question itself. Yes, Katsune. Yes, please.
Hi, I'm from the Manila Bureau of NHK. Sir, based on the satellite images that you have and all the other technical data, can you now triangulate the impact site? And as to the new images from the Malaysia Remote Sensing Agency, would you consider that area that they have identified to be the debris field already?
As I said, that question must be broken up into 4 aspects. Firstly, if you want to triangulate that arrow and narrow it further, when you're talking about satellite data, not only in MASET, but we have brought in AAIB, that was announced earlier, and then you've got the Chinese CAAC and AAID, NTSB, FAA, Boeing, and Rolls-Royce, who are now sitting down and trying to do exactly what you've been asking, relating to satellite information. Then we've got radar information that needs to be analyzed. That is military and also civil, and we've been doing that from day one. Thirdly, which is happening right now, is the deployment of the assets in the air and on the sea. And the more vessels that are deployed in those areas, we can narrow it further. And the 4th limb, like I said, is to increase the number of experts that can come on board. So it's been a natural progression from the beginning. We have narrowed the area, we have identified what we need to do, and we also are now looking ahead in the event that we do find debris, what is our next step? In the event that we do find a black box, what do we do? These are all being taken into consideration right now.
Okay, on this side. Yes, second row, white shirt.
Hi, Jason here from the Wall Street Journal. China has demanded Malaysia hand over satellite information and several other investigation data. Has Malaysia complied? Are you planning to hand over those data to the Chinese government? You have handed over?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. At the back, please. At the back.
Thank you. Angus Whitley from Bloomberg News.
Hello,
after the equipment arrives in the search area that can detect the black box, how long do you estimate that you have to find it? And also, what resources do you have after that time window closes to find it?
As I mentioned 2 days ago, and I met the delegation from the US team yesterday, the towing pinger locator and the vessel pinger locator has already been deployed. Basically, that will help us locate the black box within the 30-day period, God willing. But as you know, the French crash took 2 years. So obviously the 30-day period had already expired. So there'll be a different form and focus of the technology that is required to locate the black box after that period. That is also being considered and being discussed right now. But we are looking into deep sea surveillance, search, and salvage.
Okay, last question. Second row.
Dr. Tracy Sumisha from Channel News Asia.
Hello.
We know that Chinese families in China have just had a briefing, and a lot of them still don't accept that their loved ones are gone. Some asked, I understand they asked the people, so are our families still alive? And you just said you're hoping against hope. So can you categorically state whether this is a search or a search and rescue operation?
I'm very thankful to MAS to have a separate initiative and separate press conferences. Personally, it's very difficult for me because I am a father, I'm a brother, and I know what they're going through. And until we find the debris and we confirm that debris belongs to MH370, that very question that they are asking, we cannot provide. But what we can do, and this is what probably MAS will be informing you all tomorrow, is that we are going to continue to engage. Time will heal emotions that are running high. We fully understand, but for the Chinese families there, they must also understand that we in Malaysia have also lost loved ones. There are so many other nations that have lost loved ones. I've seen some images coming from Australia, very rational, understand that this is a global effort. Not blaming directly on Malaysia because we are coordinating something that is unprecedented. So this will be relayed to media tomorrow by MAS, and I believe they will have more information from the high-level team that has been sent by the Prime Minister to Beijing after coming back to KL only for a day, and they left last night. There will be more information about that tomorrow. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, with that we conclude the session for today.